And welcome back to this edition of the Central Valley Art Hop Show. As you can see, I have a bunch of different but wonderful artists here with me. We're here to talk about what exactly is Art Hop, how it works, because we do meet a lot of people every day that never seem to know what it is, and it's kind of strange living in Fresno because I think we're becoming a more art-centric town every day, every year, and there's still people that don't know what it is. So I'm just going to pass the mic down and we can all say, like, how would you describe Art Hop? And like and we're all going to be at different places tonight for Art Hop as well. So like, I'll pass it down, say where you're going to be, but also what is Art Hop to all of you? So we'll start with Jared.
Hey. There we go. Art Hop to me is a unique opportunity where artists, open-air studios, venues house and show art all around the city. And for people to come out and tour is the only one right now from basically Bodega Bay to Chula Vista that has this many artists and this many open studios. I spent a year and a half looking. It's a really amazing venue and an opportunity for people to pick up some really amazing art.
Absolutely.
Rick?
Thank you. Jared. So did I sound sufficiently talk hosty there?
A little bit, but you could be better.
Oh, wow. Well, to me, Art Hop has just been an excellent opportunity to actually get to know a lot of other artists and to get around and see what a lot of other people are doing. 2 years ago, I didn't know anything about Art Hop. I knew that it existed. I didn't know what it was. If you were to Google what is Art Hop, you'll find out that Fresno isn't the only city that does this. But as Jared mentioned, it is one of the bigger ones. But other places have Art Hop, like Merced has Art Hop. Porterville does something I think called Art Walk, which is very similar. And there are a lot of cities around that do it. It's an excellent opportunity not just to get out there and show work, but to see other people's work. So that's what I enjoy the most about it. And typically what I'll do is, as I'll be doing tonight, I'll kind of jump around from one venue to another, just trying to, network with different artists and see what they're doing. And then that helps to inspire me with some of my own thoughts and ideas.
Absolutely. Miss Whitney.
Passing the buck, as it were. Yeah, I think what Art Hop has been covered, but for me as a performer, I think it's a great way to self-promote as far as that goes. I get to go out there and I get to see what everyone else is doing, but then, like you said, you get to meet people face to face. They get to see you do what you do, and especially with anything like Fire or like any Renegade kind of performance we do, it's kind of like shooting fish in a barrel. It's like we get everybody together, finally they get out of their homes and into one place, and then they get a free show, and hopefully that helps promote you to the next show, and hopefully paying gigs come from that. Paying gigs. Right?
That's true, because it's a very opportunistic venue where it's not just a place that you can go and meet other people, but you can also potentially sell your work. Right. It's like a merchant type of a place sometimes.
Yeah, totally.
Awesome. Art Hop is my favorite day of the month, and it only happens once a month, but it's already been said, but pretty much, Art Hop is a day to inspire each other to create things, showcase ourselves, our emotions, our world behind doors. And it's weird because I didn't know what Art Hop was when I first moved here, and now that I know what it is, I love it, and I look forward to it every month. Yeah.
Like Christmas for
it really is. And then you see, and you just get inspired by everything. And there's just so many places to go, though. You don't know where to go. You're like, and then you get stuck into a piece or a, singer, performer, and you're like, it's already over.
I know. It doesn't last long enough. Not at all.
So I make Art Hop every day in my home.
Oh, that's awesome.
So Art Hop for me, I feel like, is a space where the energy of a community can express itself, and so you see different narratives and different stories and different highlights that are coming from the spirit of our city. So it's a really beautiful place. I think it has a lot of room to grow and expand, and I've mentioned this before on the show, but creating an economy that sustains the artist, that's really one key thing that we're missing, because like you were saying, you know, hopefully one day I'll get paid, and that's kind of like where we're all at. Like hopefully one day, you know, like we can get some equivalent exchange in this. So I think that it's a magical space. It's amazing. It's necessary. You know, we need these resources. And so it's exciting to see them, you know, starting to give back to the community, be more community centered, you know, less individualized and more of a community space to work together and see the needs of our community, what's needed, what needs to be provided. And so it really opens up the conversation, and we have a lot of room to grow, for sure.
For sure, and like we can go back down the line, but since we already are at you, like everyone can tell everybody where you all are, like what you do, your names again, and like where you're going to be at Art Hop tonight.
Great, yeah. So I'm Kayla Moon. I have been an active member of Art Hop for the last 4 years. I started off at Art House, never made a dime, and started to, you know, figure out different things that I could do myself personally. So, you know, we created the magazine to help fuel an economy towards our artists, and we're going to be at Mia Kepa. There we go. I'm like, where is it? We're going to be at Mia Kepa tonight from 7 to 10. So
Perfect.
Yeah.
And that's like one of my favorite places, so check that out if you've
It's
never
great.
been.
Yeah.
Yeah, and usually the art hops go to like 8:30ish, so afterwards it's perfect.
After hours, what's up?
So yeah, my name is Natalie Marie Pizzo, but as my stage name, I'm Hazy Autumn, and I'll be at Cornerstone Coffee Company with Lauren tonight, and she will be painting, and I will be performing with a couple other acts as well. So it's 5 to 8:30. Coffee, smoothies, love. Come and see us. Come cool down with us. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, my name is Whitney Horde. I go by Quinn if I'm in clown face. And if you run across me in public and I am done up as that character, I am a mime, so I won't talk to you, which is great because somebody tried to interview me for the Bee. And I was in mime. She was like, "You're a mime, aren't you?" So, it's great. But anyway, as far as where I go on Art Hop, it's generally improvisational. If we get invited somewhere, like the skate shop on Fulton, where we'll be tonight, we'll be there. Other than that, we kind of just run around and see what's up every time. So
Because we hop.
yeah, we hop around.
My name is Rick Horowitz, and I do photography, mostly artistic nudes, manipulated photography. I actually am not showing this month because I needed to take a little bit of a break. I was at Jewel FM in February. I believe it was March. I was March or April, I forget now. I was at Peeves. I also have exhibited at the Vault. And then periodically I'll participate in juried exhibitions at places like the Sorensen or with the Fresno Arts Council, which Fresno Arts Council, we probably should mention, helps to organize the Art Hop. And in fact, I think that nowadays we do the first Thursday of every month is Art Hop, and everybody tends to think, well, that's what Art Hop is. But I think Art Hop is now also on, I want to say, the third Saturday as well.
It is, yeah.
I know that you can find out more about it, though, by looking at the FresnoArtsCouncil.org, I believe it is.
Yes, and we do have a map of places that you can go to tonight, at least throughout the Tower District, because I know that the Tower District and downtown are big meccas. There's almost too much to do. It's like the hardest part is picking where to go, but you can find maps like this online. I believe there's an Art Hop group on Facebook where you can look at this more in depth, because I don't know how well you can read this. Like, even I can't read it, but they have information like this almost anywhere you look online. If you're not sure where to go, but you really want to check it out, just like the hardest part really just picking a place. I mean, look at the variety we have here today on this show. Like, I mean, like, I'm gonna be with Natalie, but it's like I wish I could do everything. It's so hard. But we have Jared here too, who's gonna be, I think, tonight at the M Complex, I think.
Yeah, Jared Barbic. I'll be showing at M Street probably for the next 12 months. As long as they'll keep me, I'll be there. I did 12 months at Broadway, and I, like Rick and many others here, I've shown around for the last 7 years and worked with a lot of artists. I really look forward to seeing everybody out there. It may shut down at 8, but we shut down when you go home. So that's all I need to know.
Actually, like I mentioned when we were talking earlier, the Security Pacific building, I've got an interviewer now.
That's right.
The Security Pacific building, the vault will actually usually stay open as long as people keep coming.
Oh, that's so nice.
So they start at 5, and like I say, I've been there till midnight before. I don't think they're often there till midnight, but we've done that.
That's so cool. I love that they do that because, I mean, again, people get off of work at 5. They're rushing to get home. Some people have kids. Like, how are you supposed to get to Art Hop at 5 and, you know, it only lasts till like 8 and there's not enough time to see everything? And what if the best stuff starts at 5? Like, what if it doesn't last?
Right.
It sucks.
Allocate your time and resources accordingly. But yeah, some places do close at 8, but other places stay open much later.
I think we should start a protest here today where we say we want Art Hop more than once a month. Damn it. Longer hours. We deserve it.
Well, I probably should start a fast because I need to lose the weight anyway. So
Just
I'll
hop
do
it
a
off.
I'll do a fasting protest.
Well, before we cut to commercial, I wanted to maybe just say, and I'll just maybe hold out in the middle, like, what would you say to people who have never been, like, what's the number one reason maybe why they should go? Like what keeps you, well, we already know why we're doing it, but, like, what would you say maybe to a noob, an Art Hop noob? Like, why should they go to maybe your show or anybody's show? So just, I would guess, talk really loudly.
Well, in general, I would say art.
Yeah.
Inspiration.
And then, of
Yeah.
course, hopping.
Emphasis on the hop culture and exercise.
Yeah, get out there and do something different.
Yeah.
You know, like the normal Fresno thing is to, like, I don't know, go out to BJ's, have dinner there, and
Yeah.
go to the movies, and like go.
I know.
home.
When I first
You
moved
know,
here, I was
it's
like, I don't want to go to the movies. Where's the art and
Right?
music? And now
Exactly.
it's here. So
Yeah.
For sure.
It's the one city where you have all the arts centralized to a large degree,
Yeah.
and you have a
and
full
it just keeps
variety
growing
of things.
bigger.
And so there's every reason to come.
And a lot of the venues, it should probably also be mentioned, a lot of the venues will provide refreshments of some kind, so you can skip dinner.
That's true. I'm all about free snacks, folks. It's the quickest way to get me anywhere. That's sad, but it's very true.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, it has to do with fellowship. It has to do with community. And so often we are isolated, you know, whether it's we have to go to work and that takes up all of our time, or we have our kids, or whatever it may be. You know, it's like we need that space to recharge, and we need that space to be inspired, and also to feel that fellowship when so often, you know, so many things are demonized and the world outside seems so scary, you know, with the mainstream narratives that's going on. And so this is a break from that, you know, this is a break from that fear to go out and say, wow, like people create beautiful things. People can have these amazing, wonderful conversations, you know, and so it really is about that community and that fellowship, I feel like.
And I think going off of fear was a really good thing that you touched on. I think because Art Hop being so located in Tower and downtown, like there are a few locations north of Shaw. We don't want to freeze you out, but so many people, there's that stigma in Fresno of like, don't go south of Shaw, or like now it's like don't go south of Herndon or whatever it is. So there's the stigma about Tower and downtown in just a general capacity in Fresno, and I feel like this is the perfect opportunity for people to come out and see that it's not scary.
Yeah.
Yeah,
know?
not at all.
It's not a, yeah. So.
And there are a lot of people that, you know, it'd be an opportunity not just to see art, but talk to other people about art. And not just the artists, but, you know, some of the other things that have happened to me at Art Hop, I've sold pieces. I've had people come in, and of course, whenever I show my work, it also has a price usually. I do special pricing for Art Hop, so that helps with selling. But I've also had people come up and they say, I really love your work. And I think, like, last month, I think 2 or 3 people came and asked if they could participate in projects with me.
Yeah.
So, and I always enjoy that because, frankly, you know, the kind of art that I do, not easy to do in Fresno, California.
Well, yeah. I mean, the other big thing, I think that is a conversation point beneath the surface amongst artists is there's a big concern that if the community doesn't rally behind, at some point artists leave. Anybody that's been to Monterey has saw Monterey go from a really, really busy area in the cannery to now 0 artists, and they have fled. And we don't want that. We want to keep it just the way it is and have it expand and grow and give everybody an opportunity, but it takes an entire community to rally behind us for us to continue to work.
times.
Yep.
For sure.
I know artists, talking about going to San Francisco or New York or something. And Fresno is where I live, and Fresno is where I do my art, and Fresno is where I want to be. But as Jared mentioned, we need the support of the community. We need people to come out. And folks need to understand, I've been encouraged to take my work and put it over at the coast or in the Bay Area. People say, well, Fresno just doesn't really do art. Fresno doesn't understand art. So you need to take your work and send it to San Francisco. And what's funny is I've been told this and I've seen it happen. I can take a piece of art that I created right here in Fresno, I can sell it here in Fresno, and people will balk at paying, more than $800 or $1,000 for a piece. But you take that exact same piece to the coast, to San Francisco, and somebody from Fresno will drive there and pay 2 or 3 times as much and then bring it back to
Right.
Fresno.
Yeah.
Why do that, people? We're right here.
Appreciate your local artists, man.
Especially since the art that we produce is very, very good in quality.
There's so many great
If he
artists
does
here.
say so himself.
No self-promotion.
No, that's so true though. We don't want people to say, "Oh, people in San Francisco or LA, they get it," but why can't Fresno? Like, why can't we change the tone of artistic achievement and as a job, especially? Like, it's more than a job. It's like a life calling. So
A mission.
It's a
We're
mission.
all on a mission.
Well, and we've been written about. Fresno is becoming one of the largest hubs for artists to come to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so because of cost to
Cost
have
of
a
living,
studio
for
space,
sure. Yeah.
many builders provide spaces cheap to us, and without them, we wouldn't be here. And so, I mean, that needs to be said that they are basically keeping Fresno's artists
Yeah.
in a location that's accessible and that's nice and at times air conditioned.
And there are people locally who do want to help support the arts. Rick Roush, for example, who owns the Patterson Building downtown, he's very supportive of artists like myself and Marcos Dorado. And there have been in the past Art Hop events at the Patterson Building. They're not doing those right now. I wish they would start up again, but I know that Rick is a local businessman who really wants to support that. He's very invested in helping to develop the downtown area. And so, as Jared pointed out, we do have some of that support. What we need now is for more people to come out and see the art and buy the art and take it home.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself. I've said that a lot today, but that's because we have so many amazing minds here. We have to cut to commercial, but I do want to thank all of you so much for taking the time to be on this panel, because you all got interviewed, but you didn't have to stay to be on a panel for sure, and share this message with our viewers. So a big thank you to all 5 of you for taking the time to do that today.
Appreciate it.
Thank you as well. We'll be right back after these messages on Central Valley Art Hop Show.